It's Rocky the Dog Show. Your host Joe Vinny. Iran has finally bombed. Let's take a look at this.
Feeling lonely and looking for a significant...
Don't try this baking soda trick unless you're ready to last all night until she says stop. Last Thursday night, I thought my husband was having some kind of midlife.
Following the U.S. bombing of 3 nuclear sites in Iran yesterday, Trump administration officials are breathing a sigh of relief that the highly classified bombing mission appears to have gone off without a hitch. But there is also concern now about what happens next when it comes to Iran. Operation Midnight Hammer involved top secret planning and a head fake as 2 strike forces of B-2 bombers departed the U.S., flying in opposite directions late Friday night. On Saturday, defense officials confirmed to CBS News that there were, in fact, B-2s headed to Guam, flying west from their home in Missouri. But those were decoys. A separate fleet of B-2s departed from that same location, heading east to the targets in Iran. Pentagon officials say the mission was an overwhelming success, but also concede it is too early to assess if Iran still has nuclear capability. 14 30,000-pound massive ordnance penetrator weapons, or MOPs, dropped on an underground nuclear facility in Fordow and a key uranium enrichment site in Natanz. Additional American Tomahawk struck a 3rd site at Isfahan.
I think Tehran is certainly calculating the reality that planes flew from the middle of America in Missouri overnight, completely undetected over 3 of their most highly sensitive sites, and we were able to destroy nuclear capabilities. We believe that'll have a clear psychological impact on how they view the future.
At the White House late last night, President Trump issued his own stern warning to Iran.
There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill.
And those words, go after other targets, have led to confusion and some concern about what is next for the U.S. role in this.
Also formerly with the FBI with us now. Tracy, good to see you. Perfect guest for this. As I watched cable news all day today, it said on the bottom of the screen, does Iran have sleeper cells, ? And I thought to myself, it would be more shocking if they didn't have people that they'd infiltrated over the southern border in the past 4 years than if they did.
Well, thank you for having me, Leland. And you're absolutely right. I don't even understand why this is a question. I hate to be so blunt, but that's how I feel about it. They have sleeper cells here. They have, quite frankly, for decades. I don't actually think that this is new. I think we may have more of an influx, right, that we're discussing, but this isn't new. They're here. They have been here. They are just waiting for the right moment. And the fact that we're curious and questioning as to whether or not they're here is actually very shocking to me.
All right, so the Ayatollah, America will suffer if America gets involved in the war. Take a listen.
America's intervention in this matter is 100% to their detriment. What they will suffer in this regard is much greater than what Iran may suffer. The damage America will suffer if it makes a military intervention in this field will undoubtedly be irreparable.
What does a sleeper cell attack look like? Is this another 9/11 or something different?
I think it could be a combination. I actually don't think it's going to look like a 9/11 type attack, a very complex attack. That's really what 9/11 was. It required a lot of money, a lot of financing, and a lot of planning. I don't think that's what we're going to see here because obviously the world has changed, right, in the last 25 years. And there's been a lot of success in these kind of lone wolf or inspired by attacks. And so I think they're going to be kind of more lone wolf style. I also think that we could be looking at attacks to our critical infrastructure as well that we are not expecting. So I think it's going to look less like a 9/11 style attack, sort of shock and awe, if you will, and more in an unsuspecting way. And I actually am very concerned about our critical infrastructure.
Yeah, you think about July 4th coming up, that would be target number one. Every city and town in America has gatherings, and we know what can happen. at big gatherings. History of sleeper cells in the United States. Obviously, the Soviet Union was some of the best at having their illegals. The World Trade Center bombing, the Millennial Plot, September 11th arrests. How do you find, and I hate to use the sort of cliche, I don't think you're looking for a needle in a haystack. You're looking for a needle in a hay field or hay barn, right?
You're absolutely right. It's near impossible to find these individuals because, as you mentioned before, some of them did not enter the U.S. legally, but some of them actually are homegrown, right? So we have this combination that makes it incredibly difficult to identify individuals that might not even come up on our radar. I mean, even if you go back as far as to September 11th, right? Those individuals had actually entered the U.S. legally. Had we checked their visas properly, obviously we would have known because we know that now. But that's the difficult part of all of this. They lead these seemingly normal lives, right? Drawing no attention to themselves whatsoever. But they have to get messages in some way. They have to get a signal in some way. And that's where I'm hoping they will slip up and we will ultimately catch them.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your phone.
Remember, this is Rocky the Dog Show. Like and subscribe, follow. I'll put out great content.
If you saw the news, but Fox News is claiming.
And have a great day. God bless you guys.